Survival of the Fittest, How the Future of Union Construction Depends on Every Journeyman, Every Apprentice, and You, by Mark Breslin. My family's been in the construction business for close to 100 years. I've followed in the footsteps of my great-grandfather, grandfather, and dad. I've learned about accomplishment, leadership, and responsibility. I paid the price for these lessons. I've also had plenty of luck along the way and moved up in the world further than I could have ever imagined. Now I'm trying to give something back. I'm trying to inspire and help others to go further than they can imagine. That's the main thing I hope you'll get from reading this book. My family history is rooted in the grit and challenge of the job site, and that's the tone I put in this book. It's a book written for you in your language. And though I use the term guy throughout, it's for every man and woman who will serve the union construction industry. The advice I have to give is based on my experiences both on and off the job. Not all the lessons are easy. In fact, most of them aren't. This business can be tough, but the rewards of accomplishment, pride, and financial security are worth it. Now, I know some guys don't like change and will do anything to avoid it. If you're one of those guys, you're probably not going to like this book very much. So I apologize in advance for any offense taken by anybody who isn't ready, willing, and able to join in the fight for union construction. On the other hand, if you are offended, tough shit. Who is this book for? This book was written for and is dedicated to every member of every construction union in the United States and Canada. Every rank-and-file member of the following organizations deserves to compete and succeed as the best in the world: the Laborers International Union of North America, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, International Union of Operating Engineers, United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America, International Union of Bricklayers and Allied Craftsmen, International Association of Bridge, Structural, Ornamental, and Reinforcing Ironworkers, Sheet Metal Workers International Union, United Association of U.S. and Canada, International Union of Elevator Constructors, International Association of Heat and Frost Insulators and Asbestos Workers, International Brotherhood of Boilermakers, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, United Union of Roofers, Waterproofers, and Allied Workers, International Brotherhood of Painters and Allied Trades, and all the other unions engaged in construction and industrial work in North America. And it's also for the tens of thousands of union contractors and the hundreds of associations in partnership with each of these unions employing more than 2 million union craft workers. What is this book about? It's about being a success at your job and in your life. It's about union construction taking back the marketplace, and it's about how those two directly relate to each other. Where does it apply? It applies any place where union construction is committed to being the most productive, the highest quality, and the best value in the world on every job site, every day. Why write this book? This book was written for 3 reasons. Number 1, because union construction is having a tough time competing. Number 2, because union construction is worth saving. And number 3, because you deserve to be successful and live the best life possible. How many excuses can I come up with not to read this book? Well, how about I help you with the first 10? Number 1, I hate to read. Number 2, I already know everything I need to know about my job and life. Number 3, I can already tell it's a bunch of bullshit. Number 4, 2 words: Baywatch reruns. Number 5, not enough pictures. 6, Monday Night Football. 7, somebody tricked me into learning something once and that is not going to happen again. 8, someone's making me read this and I hate it. Number 9, it's already boring. And number 10, I'll just wait for it to come out on DVD. When will this book matter to me? Every single day of your life. Survival of the Fittest. Labor cannot stand still. It must not retreat. It must go on or go under. Harry Bridges. This book is about a fight for survival. On the front lines are more than 2 million union construction workers and contractors working in North America today, fighting together for the marketplace. If you haven't seen the fight yet, you will, and soon. In fact, like it or not, you're destined to become part of it. The fight is called survival of the fittest, and what it means is simple. If you're the most adaptable and determined, you will survive. If you're not, you won't. It's the law of the jungle and the street, and it's the way of the world we live in, and it has been for millions of years. You don't need to watch Animal Planet to figure it out. Any living thing, plant or animal, that's not the best adapted to its environment gets eaten up, pushed out, or just plain dies off and goes extinct. It's exactly the same way in union construction. If we can't adapt to our environment, or we can't compete in a changing industry, we'll be eliminated. Our fight and our challenge. In our industry, there's a battle raging between union and non-union construction. Today, less than 15% of the construction work in North America is still union, which means that more than 85% is non-union, and these numbers are barely holding. 30 years ago, it was the other way around. Back then, unions had the lion's share of the work in the U.S. and Canada. Today, they do a fraction of what they used to. More than 80% of the work is non-union. That's 8 out of 10 workers on 8 out of 10 job sites. How did it happen? Everybody put their heads in the sand and pretended it wasn't happening. That's how. The truth is this. Union construction has gotten its ass kicked for the past 30 years all across this country and Canada too. Sure, there's still pockets like New York, San Francisco, Chicago, St. Louis, but for most of the country, non-union is the rule, not the exception, and that makes us the underdog. And when you're the underdog, you have to work harder, a lot harder. Here's what happened and what we're going to do about it. Over time, for various reasons, owners, developers, and everyone else who used to only use union contractors and workers decided they didn't need us anymore. And like it or not, a lot of it was our fault. We took things for granted. When things are good, it's easy to think it'll always be that way. Just ask the next dinosaur you see. We had the market, but we let it get away. We didn't see the changes coming, or if we did, we tried to ignore them. Can we take back the market? Hell yes. What's it going to take? Each one of us, as members of the fittest, is going to have to take our place at the top. We have to rise up and compete like never before. And if you think you could just wait it out, believe me, pretty soon there won't be anything left to wait for. If you don't want to make the hard choices now, they'll be made for you. Now, it's not like you have to do it alone. If we all do what we need to do, we'll have a couple of million union workers and contractors in North America, and that's an army to be reckoned with. Every union guy who ever pounded nails, poured concrete, or tied rebar. Every blue collar who's welded, flagged traffic, pulled wire, walked a beam, raked asphalt, or set a turbine. Guys who lay flooring or mop roofs or move dirt, truck drivers, pipeliners, framers, painters, plasterers, and mechanics. All the above are facing the same challenge as you are. It's a challenge for every apprentice, every journeyman, and every foreman who holds a union card. A challenge for every one of you who will ever build union. I know there'll be plenty of union guys who don't want to hear about it. Some guys don't care as long as they still have a job and a check coming in every week. This is what's known as screw everybody else, I got mine approach. Just my opinion, but selfish bastards like that might not be the ones you want to listen to when you're thinking about your own future. Anybody that wants to see, can see that union construction across the entire U.S. and Canada has been losing ground every day, every month, every year since the 1960s. It's happened very slowly, and that's why it's been hard to see. We used to have the whole pie, now we've got one slice left, and it's not even a big one. The unions and contractors are out there fighting to get a bigger slice of that pie again. They're talking to owners, developers, and builders about how it's worth paying top dollar for union construction because it's a better value. But they can only do so much. It's up to every rank and file member to put the walk behind the talk by making union construction a better value on the job site every day. This starts with you and your crew. If we're going to pull it off, if we're going to compete and win, every one of us needs to be a winner in every way. This book is about you being that winner on the job site and in your life. It's not about living from dispatch to dispatch. It's not about building for union pride or because a boss says that you have to. It's about doing the right things on and off the job to guarantee your job and your future. It's about looking out for yourself and your family. When you do right for yourself in that way, you do right for the union. And you also do right for the next generation of union construction workers, which may even include your own kids. Union construction is a proud tradition and a worthwhile heritage. Do your part to keep it strong. Now, no one's going to do it for us. It's our responsibility to ourselves, our unions, and our industry. Now's the time to show we're the smartest and the most adaptable to change. It's time to win every hour, every day, every job site. You want the money? You want the respect? You want the future? Just remember, talk without action is bullshit. Now let's go get it.